Hello. C-Drama greets you. Chinese drama Hidden Love EP 14. Sang Zi looked up the meaning of the bracelet Duan Jikshu had given her and was disappointed to find out that it was a gesture of care from an elder. She informed her parents that Duan Jikshu would be coming early the next morning to pick her up, and they would return to Yai together so they could get some extra sleep and not have to wake up early to take her to the airport. Duan Jikshu spent the whole night trying to secure tickets for their journey back to Yai and finally breathed a sigh of relief after successfully getting them. The next day before dawn, Duan Jikshu appeared at Sang Zi's doorstep and brought her breakfast. He felt a bit disappointed when he noticed that Sang Zi wasn't wearing the bracelet he had given her. At the airport, Duan Jikshu coincidentally ran into his high school classmate, Yuan Lang. Seeing Sang Zi, he asked if she was Duan Jikshu's girlfriend, but then quickly mentioned hearing that he was with Zhang Ying. Duan Jikshu promptly denied it. Sang Zi casually asked who Zhang Ying was, but she didn't expect that it was the girl who splashed water on Duan Jikshu. Duan Jikshu clarified that they were not in that kind of relationship and that they had an agreement that he would show Sang Zi if he had a girlfriend. Sang Zi also asked about the girl he had met at the airport, and it finally dawned on her that Duan Jikshu hadn't forgotten his promise and had never lied to her. Back at the dormitory, Sang Zi stood on the balcony waving goodbye to Duan Jikshu, and Ning Wei, her roommate, took the opportunity to gossip with her. Sang Zi felt that Duan Jikshu had been acting strange lately, even more so than before. She wondered if Duan Jikshu might also have feelings for her, but at the same time she got she might be overthinking things. Duan Jikshu saw her growing up, and Sang Zi couldn't convince herself that he had such thoughts about her. However, Ning Wei didn't find it strange and advised Sang Zi to treat Duan Jikshu as a normal friend. She said, "If the enemy doesn't move, I won't move." Duan Jikshu had figured it out. The person Sang Zi mentioned as her crush didn't exist, and she actually liked him. He quickly called Qian Fei to ask for advice on how to pursue someone, as Sang Zi had always believed it was impossible for her to like him, but he wanted to give his little sister an explanation. Duan Jikshu also wanted to call Sang Zi to explain the situation at the airport, and Sang Zi's roommates were excited to see this. Sang Zi answered the call, and Duan Jikshu asked her out for a meal. They arranged to meet on Friday. Sang Zi clarified that she and Zhang Meng were just ordinary friends and that they had already discussed and clarified their relationship. Wang Wang, Sang Zi's dog, seemed somewhat absent-minded upon hearing this statement. On Friday, Duan Jikshu dressed up and Sang Zi was meticulously styled from head to toe by her roommates, who stared at her like a mother sending off her daughter. Duan Jikshu mentioned that he wanted to introduce someone to Sang Zi. She was startled, thinking that Duan Jikshu had found a girlfriend and wanted to introduce her to Sang Zi. Nervously, she went to the back seat, but Duan Jikshu placed her in the front passenger seat. When they arrived at the restaurant, they indeed saw a girl sitting there. However, it turned out to be Duan Jikshu's colleague, Sister Sun, who Sang Zi had met at the airport. Duan Jikshu gave a signal to Sister Sun and went to the restroom. Sister Sun explained the situation at the airport to Sang Zi, stating that she was already married and that she was trying to help that day. She also mentioned that Duan Jikshu had been single since they met. Then Duan Jikshu returned with his colleagues and introduced Sang Zi as his friend, correcting his previous statements that she was his sister or a friend's child. Sang Zi understood that Duan Jikshu had asked Sister Sun to explain everything to her because he didn't want her to misunderstand and create complications. Feeling a bit embarrassed to go back to the restaurant, Duan Jikshu took her to watch a movie instead. During the outing, Sang Zi sent a message to her roommate saying that she would be coming back later than expected. Sang Zi bought a drink, but to her surprise, it was a milk tea, and Duan Jikshu knew she was allergic to milk. He quickly went back to exchange it for a different drink. They didn't end up watching the movie as planned because Sang Zi's face broke out in a rash due to an allergic reaction, so Duan Jikshu took her to the hospital. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.